on Facebook, you're watching on YouTube, Instagram, or wherever. One, comment, let us know any questions that you may have, and I'm about to go to one. Any questions that you may have about the 1010 program. If you have any questions that you want to kind of have a breakdown of what 1010 program actually entails, go down to the link where it says below 1010program.com. You can see where AJ has a video on the 1010 program, what it entails, what it provides for you, and how it can work for you. Okay. I'm going to go to this comment right here from, it looks like it's from Pristine Commercial Cleaning. And he says, or they say, I've been in business for 8 years now, and I can't seem to break past the 30,000 month. Lately, I've been going on walkthroughs and hearing from people that my prices are double what they're paying. Wow, double. Okay. All right. Brandon, you got any response to that? I have something I could say too, but I'll wait for you.
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, congratulations on that. That's a big deal. That means you're already accustomed on how to, one, generate revenue, and two, close deals. So I think I have two counter questions to that question. One is, what's been the best way that you've seen that works for you and your company to get business? So I don't currently know, how you're getting your walkthroughs, if it's through cold calls and a lot of cold outreach, or if it is through networking. I'm not sure, but that will help to kind of give you a response for the question. But what types of businesses are you targeting? Are they comparing you to what they're currently doing? If they're saying it's double what they're paying, and this has always been your pricing structure, and now all of a sudden you're hearing the prices are double, could it be the economy and inflation? Could it be the types of companies that you're targeting, your target market? It could be a number of things. So we definitely would need a little bit more information to kind of see what's going on. But yeah, I would just say evaluate what you've done in the past and what's worked for you and what you're doing now. Because even myself, like, sometimes we start doing well and we start changing stuff, right? I know I'm guilty of that. Sherman, I think you're guilty of that.
Yeah.
We're always trying to figure out, okay, well, maybe if I do it this way, then I could grow. But if you're consistent with how you've gotten there, you'll definitely get further. So, but no, that's pretty interesting, and that's a great question. I'm curious to know more about your story and how you got to 30K, and what's changed. What are you doing differently? But I will say we've been seeing some of the same things on our end about our pricing. It could be due to inflation. It could be due to just the types of businesses. And I know at a certain point, you may want to explore networking if you're not doing any networking. So joining groups like BOMA, joining places where you can build, more warm relationships. And then, the pricing is just a different conversation, but you already have, a warm relationship, and people do business with people who they know, like, and trust. So, as opposed to, a cold call or popping in somebody's office where they're like comparing you to, a, a husband and wife team who, they clean at night or something like that, and they're able to give, lower prices versus you, who's an actual company with real overhead and taxes and a lot of other things that go into that. So, and probably more tools or better tools and better systems and all that good stuff too. So, it's just comparing apples to apples. Is it really an apple that they're comparing you to? Because if it's a different company who don't have any systems and very low overhead, then that's not really apples to apples, and you won't be able to beat that out. So, but yeah, that's all I got, Sherman. What you got, man?
All you got, man. That was everything. So it's hard to follow that, but I'm right along the same lines. There's a few more questions that I would want to ask to kind of really dive into this question. But first, congrats on the 30,000. That's not a small feat at all. It really isn't. That's a really big deal. So applaud yourself. And there's a little button in here, but I don't want to get distracted and trying to find a button. But I'll go ahead and clap for you. That's freaking amazing. Anybody that's watching on here, I'm sure is just impressed with that alone. So pat yourself on the back for that, and do understand that you are above average in my opinion. So keep grinding, keep doing what you're doing. How did you get to that point is a question, and what has changed, because something must have changed. If you're still pricing the same way that you've always priced, then what has changed in the market that now you are being told that you are about double what other people are? That's happened to me before. Not too long ago, probably about a year or so ago, I called myself bidding on the YMCAs here in the area. And it was a new guy that came in, and I got the walkthrough through an email campaign that I had done for him, or done. And he had looked at it, he opened it, he contacted me, right? I went through the process. I was overconfident in thinking I didn't have to go through the process. There were like 8 different YMCAs. I didn't go through all of them. I only went through a few of them, and then thought I could go ahead and come up with a price, right? I didn't ask the questions that I needed to ask to get clarity on what it was he was looking for and what he was asking me for. I thought I knew what he was asking. So when I went to do my proposal, I completely was in left field in what he was actually asking me. So instead of following up, getting, kind of follow-up questions, just clarification questions to make sure I had all the information, I went with what I thought I knew, because I thought I knew everything at the time. I was like, oh, I got this. This is easy. I can do it, right? He had called me, and he didn't have to call me and tell me this. He said, listen, Lewis, got your proposal, and I'm going to tell you what your proposal was compared to everybody else. He said, yours was $20,000 more than the lowest or the highest person that I got. And I'm like, wow, what? Right? I completely misunderstood what he was asking me to do. I'm like revamping his whole cleaning system and everything else, right? All he was asking me to do was give me a price, an hourly price for what the system that we have now. We just want to switch out the people. I'm changing everything. I'm adding floor scrubbing. I'm adding window clean. I'm adding all this bull crap that he didn't ask me for. But in my head, because I didn't have the proper training, I didn't kind of go with the training that I've been given and the coaching that I've been given. Hey, listen to the client. Listen to what the client says. Don't do the majority of the talking. And that's what I was doing. I was doing a majority of the talking, trying to sound like I knew what the hell I was doing, right? I thought I did. I felt like I did. I was confident as hell. I was. But I was way wrong, because I did not listen to what he was saying. And then even though after that, I didn't go clarify just to make sure, and then I gave the proposal, and it was way off, but he told me, right? And that conversation alone helped me in the future. And in essence, it helped me get another contract, not nearly as large as that one would have been, but it helped me get another contract off of what I learned from that. I won't say it's an L, because I learned from it, right? But I didn't get a contract, but I did get another contract from what I learned from that contract. And had I gotten that contract, I would have bombed. I know it, because I wasn't prepared for that. So sometimes you have to go in levels, you have to go in stages and stuff like that to get to that point to handle certain things like that. But like I said, I would need more information, but congrats on that so far. But that's why you come into the 1010 program, to get in line with some of these coaches that are on here. And hopefully, Tony, I see he's back, but I'm not sure if he's available, if he wanted to step in, or we can go to the next comment. But yeah, hopefully that helped Pristine Commercial Cleaning. And let's see, next comment we have is from, let's see, good afternoon, everyone. This is Tender Catering 757. Good afternoon, everyone. Does anyone have the link from AJ instructions on how to get leads? All right, when I get a chance, I'll post it in the comments for you, okay? Let's see, next one is, we have Steve Jones says, to the newbies in the cleaning industry, just remember, Success doesn't happen overnight. You have to be in it to win it. It takes time. Man, that goes a long way. I'm gonna let you speak. If you're nodding your head and it's like you felt that in your soul when I read that out. So tell me what's on your mind, Brandon.
Man, I want to take a step back, man. You're going too fast. That last question, nah, that was gold right there. You got to give yourself the sound on that one, bro.
Oh man.
Yeah, you got.
Oh man, I appreciate it.
Yeah, you got to give yourself the sound on that one. But no, that was gold. Great answer to that question, because oftentimes we oversell the client. You hit it on the head. They may not even want all of that. Like, look, bro, I just want a cleaning. That's it. And we go in there with our scope of work, got 130 different checkpoints on that, and they maybe only want 50. Right? That's what they want. But as long as we are showing them value and what we can do, we'll give you the 50-point checklist because that's what they want. But at some point, let's revisit this. But no, you hit it right on the head, and I think we all forget that because we like, hey, we got the best machines. We got, you know what I mean? We're in full sales mode, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, you said this gonna cost how much? Right? I just need the Toyota right now. Don't need the Mercedes. Just give me the Toyota. Or they may just think we're too, premium of a company to serve them, and then they may go with the lower company who bid half our cost. So, but that's great. And then that goes back also, Sherman. You mentioned something about he called you or he reached out to you and told you, how to communicate, some conversation about it. That is huge. And that goes back to what I said was you got to build genuine relationships and get people to trust you. Because if they trust you and you build a good relationship with them, they'll be open and tell you, hey, here's what's going on. Here's where you missed the mark. But no, that was great, man. That was phenomenal. So my bad. I couldn't cut you. I couldn't let you cut you short on
I
that.
feel you. I appreciate that. Good looking out. Good looking out. All
But yeah,
right.
so yeah, but to Steve Jones, yeah, that's it doesn't happen overnight. It's definitely a marathon, right? It's just like anything else. Whatever you put in, that's exactly what you're gonna get out. If you half-ass it, you just go get a half-ass company, and always use your full ass, not your half-ass. Use your whole.
Oh,
But
okay. I love that one.
yeah.
I
But no,
love it.
I agree with Steve Jones 100%. So
Yeah. And it's like Brandon was saying, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint, right? When I first started, it was right around the COVID time frame. So when I started, I kind of had a small account, but then COVID hit. I got into disinfecting churches and stuff like that. And the amount of money I was bringing in a month was ridiculous, right? It was fast, it was quick, and it was like easily accessible. I was like, man, I'm doing big things. This is awesome, right? Then COVID started to die down, and that money started to slow down and get a lot lower, right? And a lot further in between one another, right? So that sprint, that kind of happened for me. I was able to learn to kind of take that in perspective, pivot and alter kind of what I was doing to be able to adjust to the market and what was going on, right? So sometimes you're going to get that fast money and you're like, this is going to happen all the time. You're going to keep every account that you ever get. Every client is going to love you, and that money is going to continue to grow and come in all the time. No, that is not going to happen. So you have to be ready and understand, okay, how do I adjust? How do I kind of mitigate the losses that I may have? How do I fix any issues that may come up, right? And just understanding that early on saved me. And this is why having a coach and joining the 10-10 program is going to help you out, right? It's going to help you kind of discern some of those things that you may not see because you're in the middle of it, enjoying the fruits that are coming in from all the accounts that you may be getting, the people that are hitting your websites and hitting you up on the different social media for your services and stuff like that. Having a coach is going to help you understand, okay, all right, pump your brakes, hold on. This is not going to happen all the time. So you got to know how to mitigate that stuff going forward. So yeah. All right. With that being said, let me stop that because I can keep going on about that all day long, and I'm not going to do that. I want to get to some more comments. And I'm Tone. I see you're on here, Tone. If you want to jump in at any time, just let me know. I think you're muted right now, but just let me know. All right. So the next comment is from Pristine. Okay. So Pristine Commercial Cleaning says, for example, I had a medical facility reach out for cleaning 4 days a week, about 2 hours each night. I quoted them $800 and they told me I was double their current price. Okay. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head. So were you going off of the hours or were you going off of the, let's say, square footage, which is why you got up to $800? I don't know all the specifics to it, but that's probably why you were double, because they were probably going off of the hours that you worked and not necessarily the scope of work and the square footage that you are of cleanable workspace or clean space. So it just really depends. If you could have, like I said, like the person that contacted me about that, follow up and ask them why. What was it? What was the reasoning or any insight you can get. Sometimes they'll tell you, sometimes they won't. But it doesn't hurt to ask, because could look at it this way: it can't hurt you. You didn't get the account anyway, right? So ask the question. Maybe they'll reach out to have a relationship with you. I mean, and you can frame it like, hey, we've been in business for a certain period of time. And matter of fact, I wouldn't even lead with that. I would just say we want to better our reach and being able to provide for clients that are looking for our services, and we want to be able to be more competitive. So if you can let us know why, what areas could we have changed or something like that, kind of like feedback. When they feel like they're helping you and assisting you, and they're doing a favor for you, then they'll actually respond a lot of times. 9 times out of, well, most of my time they have. When I ask them, they will. So just try it. Let's see. And Miss Karen Denton. Okay. Well, hello, Miss Karen. Thank you for watching. We have, she says, some clients want to know what they're paying per day. Yeah, that's true. Be more specific in your proposal. That's also true. And then she also says that's $50 a clean.
So Miss Karen, what's up, Miss Karen? It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in. It's good.
Yeah.
Always good to see Miss Karen. Miss you.
Always.
So, and that's kind of the route I was going. I just reverse engineered the numbers, and it came out to like $46. I was like $4 off. She probably didn't do the 4.33 weeks. She probably did just straight 4 weeks. But anyway, so that $800 a month came out to $46 per clean at their price, at what they currently pay for the 2 hours. And with that, you compare that to kind of what you can come up with. And if that's 46 and you came in at about 80, 80 or 100, between 80 and $100 per clean, then you just go back to your calculator. I don't know how they came up with no, they quoted them $800. Okay. So that means the prospect was paying $400 a month. So $400 a month, and it already costs you between $46 and $50 to clean it per cleaning. Yeah, I'm just curious to know how they're able to get that done. And two, why are they looking for a company? Could it be quality issues?
Yep.
And if it is quality issues, you can always tie, pricing back to quality issues. Because if they're entertaining your price, right, and they're paying, you quoted 8, and they're paying $400, let's reverse engineer that. So the numbers are 2 hours a night, right? So you got 2 hours a night, 4 days a week. My light just went out, 4 days a week, right? So that's 8 hours a week, and that's 34.64 hours a month, right? So you got 34.64, and they're paying about $400. So you divide that $400, 34.64. That's $11 an hour. So you times that by 2. So they're paying $23 per cleaning, which is insane. And it's probably a cleaning person, maybe, and we just talked about this a little while ago. It's probably a cleaning person and not an actual company, because cleaning a 2-hour facility for $23 per clean, that is very questionable. And I'm questioning the quality of the cleaning, and I'm also questioning what is the pain? Why are they entertaining your quote? I can almost guarantee some missed cleanings, so they don't show up, probably because it's only $23. So they're going to get the $50 clean, and they're putting that company on the back burner. Yeah, and Miss Karen just hit it on the head. Some medical facilities can be cheap, some of them, and then you have to make a decision as a business owner if you want to pursue that client or not. If you got total control over that, so you make that executive decision. Hey, this is not going to be worth my time or headache. I'm going to pursue something else. So, but yeah, that's crazy. That's insane. $400 for 3 days a week. That's insane.
Yeah, and this is why, and that's absolutely a great response. This is why it's so important to know your numbers, because the just saying $800 a month sounds good, right? But when you start reverse engineering the numbers and saying, well, how much is that per clean? How much is that per hour? Will I be able to hire somebody to do that? It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. One thing that I do, and I believe, I'm not sure if Miss Karen said this also, but I said this, I think it was this week or later this week. I don't know if it was on this live or another one. One thing that helped me kind of scale and go get more accounts than I normally would is this mindset, is that when I give a proposal, it's never just one number or one option, right? I give them different tiers, different levels, right? The basic standard level scope of work is this is what you get. Then you have a medium option where you get a little bit more, maybe a little bit more time, maybe some floor work, maybe more consistent baseboards or window cleaning or something like that. That's the mid-tier option. Then there's a premium option or luxury option where for this scope of work with this information, with that includes tier 1 and tier 2, you get additionally carpet cleaning or something else or whatever. Okay. And kind of the numbers or the statistics normally show that when you give them options, one is that if you only give them one option, it makes it easier for them to say no. It makes it so easy for them to say no if that number, because now they're just going off of the number, right? When you just do one, they're going off of the number. But when you give them options and kind of different amenities or things that they can add and say, oh, well, we can have this and this for this. Now they're talking about quality. Okay. And now you're making it harder for them to say no because you said, hey, for this budget. Now, sometimes that has to go along. If you can get their budget, it helps. If not, then you still have to work it. But sometimes you can say, well, this is what my budget gets me. Okay. This is what we really want, or that's what we really want. But my budget says this. So now what we can do, now you have conversation. Because now they're questioning. They're not flat out saying no because of the number not matching. Now they're trying to say, well, I want this option and I want that option and I want some of the things in that option. Now you have conversation. Now you can negotiate. But other than that, a lot of times they'll just say, okay, that number doesn't match what I'm looking for. And now I'll go to the next person that gets me what I say I wanted. Because a lot of times they really don't know what they want and what they need. They really don't. So you have to go in there. You have to educate a lot of your potential clients. Say, for instance, I had a situation where I had an account and I know that they needed floor scrubbing, right? Because just mopping, if you think just mopping cleans floors, you're sadly mistaken. You're moving dirt from one side to the other, right? But if you have floor scrubbing for certain types of floors, in my opinion, it helps and it adds to the longevity of the floor and the appearance of the facility. Okay. But you have to teach people that. You have to educate them on stuff like that. Types of cleaners used, just, types of products and stuff like that. You have to educate your potential clients. And when you start doing that, you become an authority and you become more, I won't say believable, but they'll listen to you a lot more. Now they say, okay, well, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Once you establish that relationship and that kind of that relationship with them, and they know you're not just in there trying to get their money. You're also trying to help them out and let them know. I teach people all the time, or my clients all the time, hey, if you don't go with me, the person that you go with, you want to make sure that you're looking for this and you're looking for that. I teach them how to look for somebody else if it ain't me. And it always helps me in the end. Okay. All right, let's keep rolling. Miss Denton says, hey, that was to you, Brandon. Well, hopefully it was to me too, because I said hello too. So all good. All right. Steve Jones says, just remember, some clients will always try to lowball you, but you must let them know based on the scope of work, my quality of work determines the price. You get what you pay for. Just what exactly. Spot on. Absolutely spot on. Okay. Miss Denton also says, your company always needs to make money. That's a true statement. What are you in it for if it's not to make money? Yeah, people may love doing it and stuff like that, but yeah, go ahead, Brandon. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, you're fine. I'm just saying it's profit. We're not a nonprofit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you want to start a nonprofit, do that. But this is not nonprofit, so it's absolutely great. Let's see. We're running out of questions. Let's see. Oh, Tone, you are on here. Okay, cool. Come on. Oh, my bad. You weren't on stage. I apologize, brother. Come on.
No, it's all good, bro. I'm driving, so I keep dropping in and out. But just hitting back on what you were on that last question, man. One of the things that I would say, like for this specific situation, is that 2 hours, was that something that the client said, that the prospect said, or was that something that from your findings, your measurements, your understanding of the scope of work, was that 2 hours based on your information, or was that 2 hours based on what they told you? Because honestly, especially if it's a smaller building, that building might only really truly take you 1 hour to clean, and so that $400 may have been fine, depending on what your company could do. But it's really about looking at how does all the information that I have, based off of what the client has given me, what I've received from the client, like from the site visit, from understanding their needs, to how my business operates, like how we do things, like how long is it actually going to take us to clean this building? Is it going to take 2 hours? Or like Steve Jones was saying, or is this person just trying to lowball me and throwing out a low number to get me to drop my number? But the best way to be able to do this and be able to stand firm on your price is to have a better understanding of not only exactly what they need, but exactly what your business does and how your business does it. Because hey, this facility, it might be a 3,000 square foot facility that they see, like Brandon was saying, this might be a person, like a single person that's just coming in there and they love to clean. And 3,000 square feet, that should take you an hour or less to clean it, like, realistically. But this person loves to clean. This they only building to do. They've been doing this building for the past 3 years, and they take a bunch of pride in it, or whatever, and they in there way longer than they should be, and the client only sees that. But they don't know that, hey, this person should be able to get in and out this building, take care of everything we need to take care of, and get on going. And so, like, that's the only question that I would ask, instead of just assuming like, hey, this person trying to get over on me, or man, I'm priced just way too high, my pricing is wrong. Like, what all information did you throw into that? Like, did you actually go do a walkthrough? Did you actually see what the scope of work is? Did you plug it into your system? Or was it more so, hey, this is taking our team about 2 hours to do every night? So I would just kind of take a step back and look at those things so you can come up with your true number. Because even at $25 an hour, which is on the low end, that's what, $860 a month. You know what I'm saying? So even at $25 an hour, which is a low end janitorial charge, like, unless you start going into the franchises or the giants, like, they can go lower than that. But for a regular mom and pop, like, startup or whatever, $25 is still kind of low. Like, and if you did that per hour for 2 hours, you're looking at about $860 a month. So there's no way that someone could be in there successfully performing that for $400 an hour. And if they are, they done got tired of doing it because it's like, nah, bro, like I'm way undercharging and I ain't doing this no more. And they gonna get what they get, and I'm gonna get on out of here. So make sure you're looking at your process, your numbers, using your information, using the tools that you have to come up with a solid price, and price with confidence. Be confident in it. And if they say, hey, you know, where the other company charged $400, all right, well, the only other thing I can do is look at how we can adjust your scope. So maybe instead of 4 days a week, we can do 2 days a week. You know, maybe instead of cleaning everything, we can come in, mop your floors, and clean your bathrooms. Y'all take your own trash and wipe your own desks down and wipe your own exam rooms down. Like, you know, that's how you price with confidence, because you don't want them to you know, completely control the price based off of like squeezing you using somebody else's pricing methods. If that makes any sense.
Absolutely. That's amazing. The different perspectives and insights that you guys give is absolutely amazing. So this is why you should, if you don't already have a coach, you don't have somebody to kind of bounce ideas off of, you don't have somebody to kind of help guide you through questions and situations like this, you definitely need to get on the 1010 program. Scrolling at the bottom, you'll see grow by $10,000 per month. Visit 1010program.com. And before we go off, or right on a kind of closing outro, I'll play that video again that's in the program, that's in the 1010 program, and the link is in the comments to get to the 1010 program. Also, if you can't type it in, just go click the little link. It'll take you right to it. But man, these guys are absolutely amazing. The insight, the experience, the know-how that they have is second to none. And I'm just honored to even be on the stage. It hasn't been as long for me as some of these other guys, and just to even be considered in this conversation is absolutely a blessing. So I appreciate you guys for having me along. But such amazing questions, great question, guys. I appreciate everything. We have Lionel says this is an awesome discussion. More power to you all. By all means, thank you guys. And do me a favor. If you guys think that this conversation is something that should be, you know, kind of shared and other people need to know about, hit the like button, hit the love button, hit the share button, and all those buttons that you can hit them just to show us some love and let us know that we're kind of doing a good job. Okay. Appreciate that. So Steve Jones says, and going to another comment, just remember the money may look good, but that does not mean that they are a good fit for you. All money is not good money. Amen. All money is not good money. That's absolutely the truth. Have you had any I'm gonna put this out to you guys. Have you guys had any situations where you had to fire an account that was a nice size account, you know, brought in good revenue, but it wasn't worth the money?
Yeah, I've definitely had one of those. A couple actually.
Look sad.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. But as you grow, like in the business, and as you grow as a business professional, you start to learn, you know, what types of accounts you want to take on, what types of accounts you don't want to take on, and sometimes you even don't know these things until after you start the accounts and after you've had them. Man, some accounts where the revenue is low, the profits may be high just because the revenue is low. You could have a $1,000 account, you know, a month, but it may be once a week. That's a beautiful account, and you may profit, you know, $500-600 off of that thing or whatever, right? And you may have an account where it's like a $4,000 account, but you profiting, you know, less, right? And they may have um, specific requirements. They may be, you know, they may be one of those accounts where they're always popping up in your emails. They're always on your phone, and you know, I don't know how many of us have like a director of operations to handle stuff like that. Um, um, you know, I'm sure many of us are still involved in the customer service process, but you know, some accounts can be draining, right? Even though the revenue is high, they could be draining. and not in the sense that you're providing a bad service and then they're just, they're just trying to get you to do a good service. I'm not speaking about those, but there's some where you can just not make these people happy, right? It's like, look, the inspection report said we completed this, and that, but you're complaining that not about quality, but because the crew came in and out less than the time that we budgeted for. So they're doing the job a lot faster. You want them to stay. It could be a situation we've had that, like, oh, well, they're doing it. I thought it was going to take this long. They got to be missing something. Okay, if they're missing something, show us what they're missing. They're not missing anything. They're just, and when you first start an account, it'll take longer. Once you learn that account, Susan's, her trash is always going to be filled to the top because she eats fast food every day. Mike in the back, he drinks his smoothies. So it's going to be smoothie stuff in the bottom of the trash. So you're going to have to change that liner out every time. The big boss over there, he has no trash. It's just paperwork. He could just dump the you get to learn the account. You have a relationship with the account. So naturally you're going to clean it faster. So it's like boom, 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 boom. So we had a client where they were complaining because it wasn't taking us long to clean the account, right? And we bid it really well. We bid the account well, and we just kept hearing back from them. It's like, so it became, more of a hindering account emotionally than it was the profit. So us as business owners and the number one salesman of our company, a lot of times we have to sell with the mindset of um, what does it cost to solve this problem, right? Because there's certain industries I go in, and if I'm quoting, and I know this in this industry, they're known to complain a lot. I ain't gonna throw them out there because I don't want to discourage anybody from going after these particular accounts. But it's a certain industry where you are always going to get complaints, always, right? So if I do decide to go after one of those and actually bid it, and I think it's good for us to take on, I add in a headache fee. I'm sorry, because I know for sure this is going to be a headache. So that factors into your overhead, the problem, the headache. And we can't dodge it because that's what we do as business owners. We solve problems, right? We solve other people's problems for a fee. So it's just up to you guys. But we had several of those, and we just decided that it wasn't working out, and we parted ways. And then you'll get some clients who don't listen. It's like, hey, these floors need to be professionally, like, we need to bring in a scrubber on there. Like, this ain't no mop job, bro. Like, you want to get said results by mopping. You know what I mean? Right. You need to get a floor care service. That's a whole separate service from janitorial. Well, so and so was able to get it up, but so and so is like not a company. That's a one person. They had 10 hours all day to sit here on hands and knees and get this stuff up. That's not how we roll. We got to bring in a machine. So we had stuff like that, man. The floor was like freaking old as heck, damn near need to be replaced. But yeah, man. So it happens, and you just decide whether you want to continue with that client, and but or go ahead and just part ways professionally. So
Man, that was amazing. And just to piggyback on that, I would go deeper because that would be a long kind of dissertation I would have to say. But my account, I fired him or them, and I'll be done with them next Friday for that one specific reason right there, floor care and needing a floor scrubber and them not wanting to change. And because of that, I had to fire them because they just kept complaining about this, that, and the other. Can't be done if you won't change the scope of work, which I said we should do, because where you were in the beginning when you first started is not where you are now. A lot more people, a lot more traffic, a lot more dust, a lot more everything. So that scope of work is null. It won't work for that amount of traffic. So yeah. So Friday, and I'm counting the days. If you can't tell, I'm ready. And it's a big account. It's a big account, and I'm like the stress of it, and knowing, hey, oh man, it's 2:00, but knowing that, man, that's a nice number, but the stress that's involved in that account is worth getting rid of it. It's worth getting rid of it. So I can't get to everybody's questions. I'm glad you guys started commenting and asking questions, but this is what you do. All right. 2 things you can do. You can go to 1010program.com, click the link there, and go to what does it say? It says watch the video. Step 1 is watch the video. Step 2 is click the button below, right? And that's where you'll get started in the 1010 program. The other thing you could do is, if you still have questions, come back next week, 1 o'clock Eastern time. We'll be on here, same bat channel, same bat time, and you guys can ask your questions there. And then hopefully then you'll go and click the link and watch the video. But with that being said, Brandon, tell them who you are. I'll tell them who I am, and then we'll go out with the video from the 1010 program.
Yes, sir. Happy Friday, everyone. Have a great weekend. My name is Brandon Orr. I could be found on Instagram. I am Brandon Orr. I've been in the cleaning business for not that long, business industry for not that long. Grew a residential cleaning business and transferred over to commercial. Utilized several years of corporate B2B sales experience to build my business. And that's currently where I help people, is in sales, relationship building, and negotiating and closing deals. So I'm excited to help anyone.
Awesome. Thank you. And I'm Sherman Lewis, the owner of Squeaky Clean in South Carolina, the commercial cleaning company, also Clean Success VA Staffing Solutions, and Clean Success Academy. And with that being said, I am one of the coaches that's a part of the 1010 program. So is Brandon, so is Tony, and so is AJ. So if you want to get on board with us and let us help you in kind of these conversations, kind of guidance, kind of insights and stuff like that to help get your business to the next level, in addition to leads, in addition to one-on-ones, it's so many things that's entailed in the 1010 program. And like I said, I'm getting ready to play the video for you from the one and only AJ Simmons that's on the site that you were supposed to be going to, that's scrolling along the bottom of the screen. Go there. But this is the video you're going to see. With that being said, you guys have a blessed and wonderful weekend. Be safe out there, and we'll catch you next time.
Clean Biz Network. And the reason why I started the 1010 program is because I get it. Starting a business can be scary, it can be risky, and you don't know what to do. You know what I mean? So with the 1010 program, I decided, you know what? Let's guarantee you success. Let's put you together with a one-on-one mentor. Let's give you unlimited leads, and let's guarantee you that you can get to at least 10 grand a month in contracts. So whether you're already in business or whether you haven't even got started yet, the 1010 program can work for you and assure you that you will grow at least by $10,000 per month in recurring commercial cleaning contracts. So if this sounds like something that you want to do, click that button below and go ahead and book a call with me. And listen, this is not like a franchise opportunity. These will be your accounts that you actually own, not some franchise middlemaning you. This is actually a guarantee. These will be your actual contracts. This will be your actual business, okay?
Headed to the top, there ain't none of y'all stopping me. Used to say I never get a ring, Charles Barkley. Now I gotta.
Are you looking to start?
Headed to the top, there ain't none of y'all stopping me. Used to say I never get a ring, Charles Barkley. Now I got a wife, got kids, on property. Bubble-eyed beans that look like that be watching me. Okay, I lied about the beans, but that was hard though. I'm still in that black act, but she starred though. Cause that's all it takes. Don't flash it for. I'm on my grind, not no more.